That is from our boy James from Skrill Tractor, who donated $20.20, Jeff, because he wanted
and Anna Rose also got things rolling for us. So let's see. We got to bring the folks back in from the SLO County Firefighters Benevolent Association. And we got Jason Potts back with us. And Jason, tell us who we got on the screen with us so far. And by the way, you can watch this on our Facebook page. You can see these conversations go down, KZOZ on Facebook. Hey, Jason, welcome back.
Hi, how you doing? Thank you. Yes, we got Mike DeLeo and Lauren Byrne. Mike's he's a battalion chief with us doing our employee support services, and he's also been a big part of our person that deals a lot of our memorials for fallen firefighters in the county.
Wow, very nice. Well, welcome in, man. Thanks for jumping on with us. So talk a little bit about how the Benevolent Association kind of helps hand in hand with what you do, sir.
Yeah, so what's really nice about a Benevolent Association is if you have a line of duty death or something like that, or an emergency that happens on duty or that's work related, CAL FIRE obviously will step in and they'll help you out with that and work comp and all those normal processes. Sometimes, though, something might fall through the crack. We talked a little bit about Lauren and her spinal cord injury. She's the sister of one of our firefighters. They helped with that ride. And, a firefighter dealing with cancer, before that's all sorted out, a lot of times the Benevolent can step in and provide funds and support and bridge that gap. One of the first times I ever worked with the Benevolent Association was in relationship to a fire fatality out of the Napomo Fire Station out on Highway 166 across the Chimneas Ranch Road. August 15th, 1979, we had 4 firefighters that were burnt over. 3 of them died on the site, Ed Marty, Steve Manley, Ronald Laurent, and then Scott Cox was also badly burned and taken to a burn center. And there he was treated for his burns and unfortunately succumbed to them and died about 6 months later. That was actually one of the travel to and from Napomo and San Luis to the Burn Foundation. Some of the firefighters originally that were doing that and raising money for Scott Cox and for the funerals for Ed, Steve, and Ronald. That was actually how the Benevolent Association initially started in San Luis Obispo County. Probably about, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, my son and I were walking the fatality site, hiking up to where they were burnt over, and there was no markings or anything really to identify. There were some stones that were stacked up, and my son asked, we had been to some other firefighter memorials and asked why we didn't have one there for the guys out of my fire station that I'd worked for off and on for the last 27 years. So that kind of got me thinking I would love to do something that was going to be more permanent, plaque to honor these men that had given their lives for the community of San Luis Obispo. And so it started on a journey. We got a group together that was supported by Chief Rob Lewin at the time, Don Salisbury, and some other individuals, Mike Cole, that were instrumental in doing that and raising that money. And we were able to erect a plaque out there, a big cement structure with a little bit of a narration and their names that should stand the test of time. I was able to go back to Colorado Springs to when these gentlemen were put on the wall there, memorial wall, and meet and spend time with the family. So it really drove home just how devastating a loss like that could be and how it stays with the family even now, 30 years later. And the Benevolent Association helped raise the funds for that. We now do a staff ride training with our firefighters. We take them out to the site, walk the site, and go over lessons learned.
So this is cool because this is something that a lot of people can get to. It's just right off the 166, the memorial there, and it's got everything in place. And I just feel like, Mike, you know, whether it be riding your bike to New York, or being the cause that spearheads the Spanish Ranch Fire Memorial, how much time do you actually spend fighting fires?
So just about 3 months ago, I stopped. I was at the Napomo Fire Station for as a captain for the last 15 years, and I just transferred into our Employee Support Services department. So now I spend very little time fighting fires and more time supporting our firefighters whenever they're struggling or anything like that. But so much of our job isn't necessarily fighting fires, but providing service, whether it's medical aid, just wherever we can do to help the community.
Mike, I've always wanted to, ask a firefighter to kind of walk us through this situation of a wildfire and what that actually is like, and how it is that you can find yourself in a compromising situation to where you could hurt yourself or even lose your life. I mean, as somebody like Jeff and I that see this on the news and we see, the drops and the planes, and it's all very exciting, but I mean, we're not there. There's never a camera that can go in and see what you guys see when you're doing something like this. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so the wildland fire is very dynamic compared to a structure. It's a much larger box than in a structure fire. And so the hazards, you always have to be on your toes for that. We're obviously trained quite well, and we learn standard firefighting techniques to make sure that we're safe out there. Unfortunately, the unpredictability of a wind shift or sudden occurrence can catch us off guard. So over the course of the years, we have used lessons learned from other firefighters, and we have an established set of fire orders, our 10s and 18s, and we basically memorize those. And every one of those rules that we follow are based on a tragedy that has occurred, and hopefully we don't repeat that. That's one of the things that we wanted to bring this memorial to light, is to do this staff ride. And so now we have a site where we can gather, we can walk the firefighters through the events that occurred on August 15th, 1979, and learn from some of the actions that were taken, and maybe think about what we might have done different. Obviously, a lot has progressed with firefighting tactics, different air supports, communications, those have all improved, but we still need to make sure that safety is paramount and prepare for that unexpected.
Mike Delano, thank you so much. Thanks for taking a few minutes. Thanks for what you guys do. And, thanks for having our backs when we need it.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for the support.
You too, Jason.
Jason's been on every one of these with us this morning. So do
you need a break, bud? I mean, you look great. It's a lot of staring at these faces, right? All right. Very cool. Lauren, it's nice to see you too. What's your dog's name?
This is Ricky Ricardo.
Okay, Ricky. By the way, you can see this stuff on YouTube. Go to the KZOZ page, and everybody that we've talked to today, if you missed some of that and you'd like to see some of that, KZOZ on YouTube, and you can see all these great interviews. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to try to raise some more money for you guys. Cheers, and thank you so much. 805-543-3693. Michael